Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Glad everybody's here. Pretty nice day out in Maine today. It was sunny out and everything. The roads were nice and clear because when the sun's out, it melts the snow and the ice, and that's good. But it's been quite a time there, at least from yesterday. Going around the country here, lots of protests everywhere. Los Angeles, Jacksonville, Florida, Seattle, Washington, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Chicago. I mean, all these places, they were seeing, protests everywhere, even out here in Portland, Maine. So, lots of signs there that, people are waking up, getting pissed, understanding that the things that's going on with Trump / Musk is not right, and it's unlawful, and people are being educated more or less about why it's wrong and the laws that are being broken, and of course nobody likes to have their private information hacked, right? Nobody likes that. I mean, Christ, they advertise on TV about ways to protect your information, right? All the time, get this app for this phone or some kind of, add on to your credit card or something like that, or a special card with a chip in it. All kinds of ways for people to protect their data so that it doesn't get thrown in the wrong hands. And this fucking guy, this Musk here, goes in there and he undoes all that, so it's like, nobody likes that. Not even the wealthy Republicans like that, So, again, Musk and Trump are giving people across the political spectrum a common goal here. Okay? This is not what MAGA wants, okay? MAGA doesn't want people siding with them that are of the enemy, you know what I'm saying? They don't want that. They want it to be just them, But, MAGA and Democrats are, suddenly finding themselves on the same turf here, which we've always been. They just didn't want to acknowledge it, okay? Because there's just as many poor people, or maybe more, on the Republican side as there are on the Democrat side, okay? And anything that Trump is going to be doing in this country is going to affect us all. It ain't going to just affect Democrats only, The red states are going to be affected too, as well as the Republicans. So, that's the thing that, people are finally waking up to, is that Trump is a friend to no one, okay? I don't even think even the rich are going to be standing with him much longer, to be honest. But Kyle Kulinski here has got a video here I want to play, and he talks about this. And let's go to that video here.
All right, y'all. So the good news is we are truly and sincerely starting to see a pretty strong backlash to what's going on with Trump and Elon Musk and the Republicans now. For a while there, it was beyond lonely. I was sitting there covering everything they were doing, and I was like, I don't see that many people talking about what they're doing. I don't see hair on fire. I don't see coverage of this. I don't see Democrats firing back. I really got to the point where I was like, maybe I was totally wrong when I said, if anything, I think the resistance will be the same or stronger this time around. Up until like literally yesterday, it felt like no, there would be no resistance. That like everybody's just blinded by Trump's 1.4 percentage point victory in the popular vote, and they feel like, all right, it is what it is. Like it's just like there was an FDR era and a Reagan era. Now we got a Trump era. Like we got to go along to get along. But no, the grassroots energy has now really bubbled up and hit a boiling point. And that's what we need, bro. That's what we need. So it warms my heart to see we just had a number of pretty big protests pop up around the country. So let's start with this one. This one happened the other day. This is in LA, and it's specifically in regards to the mass deportation. Here we go.
In here too, live now from Fox, I'm Andy Mack. I want to take you out now to a developing story in Southern California as protesters have blocked the 101 freeway, protesters around the immigration crackdown. I want to put this up, a post from the Los Angeles Times reporter Daniel Miller saying downtown LA protest demonstrators are now streaming onto the 101 freeway near City Hall, bringing Sunday afternoon traffic to a standstill. Other protesters are crowding overpasses where they are waving Mexican flags and holding signs. Another post says, you can see just the traffic stop saying, here's our first dispatch from the anti-Trump immigration protests in downtown LA. Thousands of demonstrators have come waving Mexican flags and signs. Some have walked onto the 101 freeway, halting traffic. You can see they're providing an update on this story as well. And you can see the smell of tire smoke hung in the air in the 101 freeway. Overpass trucks and motorcycles did noisy burnouts, drawing cheers and cameras. The vibes of this anti-Trump immigration protest remain positive as a large group of people protesting President Donald Trump's illegal immigration crackdown stormed the 101 freeway in downtown Los Angeles on Sunday, causing major delays for both sides of traffic in the area. The protest began around...
Now, by the way, let me point out, he says, they're protesting the illegal immigration crackdown. That's not exactly fair. That's not exactly correct. There's a few reasons. Number one, Trump announced he's going to send 30,000 immigrants to Gitmo. Gitmo is an illegal, unconstitutional, extrajudicial prison. There's no due process. There's no habeas corpus. This is where Bush sent alleged terrorists, who, by the way, turned out to not be terrorists at all. This thing is beyond criminal. No democracy should ever have a facility like Guantanamo Bay, right? That's point number one. Point number two is, we've already seen the stories, bro. They're not just arresting illegals, right? There was a U.S. veteran who was arrested by ICE in Newark, and it actually turned out they were not just an immigrant and not just a U.S. citizen, but they were a veteran. You had a Puerto Rican family arrested as well, including a toddler, right? Women and children are on the chopping block. Like, what are we talking about here? It gives people a misleading picture. They're protesting, kicking out illegal immigrants. It's like, what exactly does that mean, right? If you propose, yeah, okay, look, if you're an undocumented immigrant and you committed a crime, a violent crime, most people are going to say, yeah, if there's anybody that's worthy of deporting, that's them, right? But don't make it seem like that's what Trump is doing. That is not what he's doing. That is not even close to what he's doing. In order to hit the numbers that they want to hit, that they're saying they're going to hit, you need to say, I'm just going to round you up if I think you're illegal, even if you're not illegal. And also, who cares about if you have a criminal record or not? That's why we're seeing U.S. veterans get rounded up. That's why you're seeing toddlers get rounded up. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? What are we talking about? So I hate that framing. And that's why these protests are totally merited. Now, again, the media didn't talk too much about the fact that Trump was like, we're going to send immigrants to Gitmo. But my guess is a lot of these bodies in the street, they heard that and they said, what the fuck is this?
Around half an hour later, the Los Angeles Police Department declared it, quote, a non-permitted demonstration and advised people to expect traffic delays. The crowd grew to a few thousand people who marched to City Hall.
That's a lot of people, bro. There's a lot of people all down here, bridge over here, people on the highway. Jesus Christ.
Before many walked onto the freeway near the Alameda Street exit shortly after noon. Video of the scene showed many carrying U.S. or Mexican flag signs opposing U.S. immigration and customs enforcement. Police reported at 1:19 p.m. that the demonstration had moved back onto surface streets and opening both north and southbound lanes of the freeway. So you can just see the amount of people there, and you can actually see some people walking through on the highway. And just to show you how much this traffic has been stopped, as it's just about 2 o'clock on the West Coast right now. So we're following this latest story. Plenty of different crackdowns, different operations by ICE in various major metropolitan areas over the last week.
Yeah. All right, so that's one. But then we also get this. Seen from the U.S. Treasury tonight, you won't see on TV. And by the way, that's true. There's not much coverage of these, a lot of protests that are popping up. So being outside the Treasury, of course, this is because Elon illegally hacked the Treasury with a bunch of pilled up 21-year-olds. What's that saying? One Doge oopsie, kiss me Ma's retirement goodbye. Yeah, that's true. Basically like, hey, none of your data is safe. The Social Security payment's not safe. Like Medicare's not safe, Medicaid's not safe. They illegally hacked the Treasury. What part of this are you not getting? They're deleting things they don't like. They have no authority to do that. So look, it looks like the people are understanding what's happening. It looks like they get this. This is like legitimately a coup. God bless. More. So here's another picture from it. Another picture from the protest at the Treasury. People are getting out there. And then look, you want a nice dose of hopium? 50501 or 5051 protests update as anti-Trump march in 50 states expands. There's this group that's basically working on getting 50 protests in 50 states. And they've gotten together with a former Bernie group. And I think they said it's supposed to be February 5th. So this may have already happened. I don't know if they're going to continue down this path, but just the fact you're now seeing energy, right? You're now seeing energy. You're now seeing action. You're not seeing people laying a chalk outline of themselves on the ground. And this is what we needed. We needed everybody to come together. We needed everybody to get riled up. We needed everybody to be united. We needed everybody to say, okay, whatever our other disagreements are, bro, the mission now is super duper clear. We have to stop this fascist takeover of the government. I mean, the world's richest man illegally hacking the Treasury and deleting whatever the fuck he wants. Really? That's where we are? Sending immigrants to Guantanamo Bay? Really? That's where we are? An administration that signed an executive order on day one to increase corruption in his cabinet and raise drug prices? That's where we are? Freeing 1,500 January 6ers, including ones that were cop assaulters and Fredophiles? That's where we are? Every step of the way. You know, one of the cringe resistance liberals made this point, but they're 100% right. And so I think we should use it. They said, no, we're no longer the resistance. Now we're the defiance. I agree with that completely for the simple reason. Let's not kid ourselves like Trump is going to do literally anything that might be positive. There's not one thing. The first term, hey, at least he did the First Step Act. At least he pardoned Alice Johnson. Like, there were a couple things you could point to. Okay, yeah, that was good. I'll give him credit there. It's not happening this time. It's not fucking happening. Even the one thing that he pretended was good, you'll see, it's not going to pan out. Oh, we're going to release the files on MLK and RFK and their assassinations, right? This is what he said. And JFK. We're going to release all that stuff. Number one, I guarantee you it's redacted to the high heavens, so we have no idea what actually happened. Number two, weird. Why didn't you release the Epstein files? Could it be because you're on it and you were best friends with him for a decade, like he said? So even the one thing that in theory could have been good, that's not even going to fucking pan out. So let's stop kidding ourselves. The defiance, no to everything. Any Democrat that votes for any member of Trump's cabinet, any member, they should all be protested. They should all get flooded with 10,000 phone calls of furious constituents saying, nah, we're not fucking doing this. John Fetterman keeps bending the knee. Look, a lot of Trump's picks are getting like at least 8 or 10 Democratic votes in the Senate. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Every Democrat should vote against every single pick. No questions asked. None. Zero. So they better fucking fall in line. And if they don't, all this energy should also be directed at them. Because somebody's going to represent us or else, right? They better fucking represent us. They better represent. I'm seeing center-left liberal types writing articles like, primary all the Democrats, get them out of here. They're not fighting. They're not fighting. Make them fight better. Now, to be fair, they did just the other day. That's like some of them snapped out of it and got out there and started fighting. But like, we're going to use this energy. We're going to harness this energy. Because we can't just sit back and relax while our country gets dismantled piece by piece.
So,
hey,
you know, the thing, here's the thing. When Trump puts more people out of work, which, you know, is eventually going to be something that will happen with that Project 2025 manifesto and the things he's going to enact in that, it's going to put more people out of work. Well, what are they going to do now that they got no job? Just sit around, twiddle their thumbs? Or do you think they'll be out there adding their numbers to the protests? Certainly there is a momentum beginning here in this country, and I have this other little 2-minute video here of Representative Al Green having something to say about that. So let's put that on here so you can see that too.
And still I rise, Mr. Speaker. And I rise today, Mr. Speaker, with a to whom it may concern message. To whom it may concern, ethnic cleansing in Gaza is not a joke, especially when it emanates from the President of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, when he has the ability to perfect what he says. Ethnic cleansing in Gaza is no joke, and the Prime Minister of Israel should be ashamed, knowing the history of his people, to stand there and allow such things to be said. Ethnic cleansing has been a crime against humanity. And I stand here today in the well to denounce what was said, to denounce what the president said, to denounce the complicity of the Prime Minister of Israel, and to remind people that Dr. King was right. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. I also rise to say that the impeachment movement is going to be a grass-up movement, not a top-down. The people have got to move forward. The people have to demand it. And when the people demand it, it will be done. I did it before. I laid the foundation for impeachment, and it was done. Nobody knows more about it than I. And I know that it's time for us to lay the foundation again. On some issues, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. On this issue, I stand alone, but I stand for justice. I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman, you know, it's getting there. The heat's going to start climbing, and I said, you know, they should be thinking about articles of impeachment here on Trump already, and it seems like, you know, people are beginning to come to that realization that, you know, it doesn't matter how short a time he's been in the White House already. He's already done enough damage already to warrant impeachment charges. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He's already done enough. Okay, most presidents would take forever to come up with things to be impeached over, but this guy's already racked up 2 weeks worth of shit that's already going to get him in trouble. So, you know, why wait? You know, these impeachment things, you know, drag on and on. So you might as well start early. Okay. And Trump will keep giving more gifts to the Congress and Senate, more things to add to the list of things he's gonna, you know, that he's done wrong. So while we already got the ball rolling for impeachment, we can expect that Trump will keep batting us some more stuff to add to the list. Okay, and it's certainly going to make it difficult for for somebody to try to whitewash, you know, or explain away the things that he's done wrong when the shit just keeps on coming, right? I mean, what kind of an attorney would want to defend a person in court when that person's still out committing more crimes? You know, no, it's just, you know, you might as well start this now. By summertime, they're going to have a mountain of shit. Okay. You don't want to have to get all this stuff all at once. You want it coming in as it's coming in, okay? So that way they can stay ahead of the ball, you know. And you need to keep this movement going out there, and this is a way to do it. When you got an impeachment process beginning, moving on, that'll keep the public riveted to, hey, you know what? This guy's still committing crimes, you know, and that'll keep the anger going. So, you know, it'll be sort of like a synergy, you know, one feeding off the other to keep that momentum of anger against the president going. So, yeah, start the fucking process now. Begin now. Don't wait. Do it now. You know, because we know it's a slow process, and we know because we got Republicans controlling the houses, okay, we know that this is going to be, you know, it's going to drag. But let it drag, because the longer they make it drag, the worse things will keep coming from Trump. It'll keep adding to the list. It'll make it harder for them to make it drag. You know, this is how you do it. So, and then, of course, by the time the midterms comes around, Trump's image is going to be so damaged that, you know, the Republicans as a whole are going to start losing seats everywhere. Okay? And certainly... MAGA itself, which seems to be imploding, is not going to be there in force to be able to stop it, you know. So I just, you know, like I said, it's a very, you know, you could see that the monster's waking up, okay? And I'm talking about the, you know, the anger towards Trump. People are starting to wake up now to the fact that this has got to stop, okay? We can't have, you know, 4 years of this shit. Okay, Christ almighty, look what he's done in just 2 weeks. Imagine that times 4 more years. No, unacceptable. We either have a president who is a president, or we don't have one at all. Okay? I mean, we might as well not have a president right now the way things are going. I mean, it seems like anarchy is what's the rule of the day in Trump's White House. So, hey, if you want anarchy, all you got to do is get rid of him, okay, and have the government run by no one, okay? It'd be the same fucking shit. So we don't need Trump. We don't need him. We don't need anybody that supports him, okay, or any of their ilk in our government. It's time to clean house, okay? Do a house cleaning like they do in the spring, you know? Time to clean out these fucking institutions here in our government and start putting in some real people who give a shit about their job, people who busted their ass to get to these jobs. It's time to put seriousness back in the government and stop this clown show. All right, because we don't have time to watch clowns. Okay, all of us are busy working, trying to make money, trying to feed ourselves and stuff like that. We can't be focused on what's happening 100 miles or 1,000 miles away from us, and seeing that, you know, everything that we're working and trying to strive for is being gutted all around us. We don't want somebody setting fire to our house while we're trying to make our mortgage payments. All right, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
He was the first president elected with the help of a hostile foreign power. That's not a hoax. It's the conclusion of the Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee and every national security agency. And what did the Russians get helping elect Trump in 2016? Turns out they got a lot. For decades, the greatest adversary of the Soviet Union and Vladimir Putin's Russia was the Republican Party. Now the Republican Party is the heart of pro-Putin movement in American politics. That's why Donald Trump nominated Tulsi Gabbard, Moscow's sweetheart, for a critical national intelligence position. That's why he loves J.D. Vance's vicious attacks on Ukrainian freedom fighters. What happened to Republicans standing for freedom? Tens of thousands of Americans died fighting a European dictator. Now, an American president embraces a dictator at war with freedom. When Donald Trump was inaugurated, remember who else was celebrating? Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump together again.
頑張って
One.
はい、99枚。さあ、ここで第1回の100枚突破しました。
苦しい？はい。どこが苦しい？
骨盤です、骨盤。いや、大変なことが起きてしまいましてですね。ちょっとさっきからね、もう動けなくなっちゃってるんですね。
動けない。
挑戦開始から実に2時間10分。矢部の履くパンツはどんどん膨らんでいき、その重みでついに動けなくなってしまったのです。
いやいや、
大丈夫かほんまに。
痛かった言ってくださいよ。
いや痛い。どこが痛いの？
骨盤です。
骨盤分かってるよ。
はいはい。
うわ、すごいことなってるわ。これはよ履いてはよ脱がしたの？足色変わってるやん。足の色が。あと3枚頑張れ。これ自分でお前自分で履いてんの？
いや、全て自分でやってます。
すごい。頑張れ。頑張れ。前にも倒れるんちゃうん？頑張れ。頑張れ頑張れ。いや、上手。頑張れ。はい。
これで記録並びます。
あと2枚も頑張れ。
230.
あと1枚。一人が入ったよ。
231枚のパンツを履いてギネス世界記録更新です。
I say unto you, whoever welcomes one of these little ones in my name might be letting in a murderer or a drug. Let's get her to a detention center, you know, so we can figure out what's going on. I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. And behold, now I'm all lazy and entitled. You shouldn't have done that. Do unto others as you suspect they might want to do unto you. What is a man profited if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? A lot. He has profited a lot. One soul for the whole world, that is an amazing deal. Why do you look at the speck of dust in your brother's eye but ignore the plank in your own? Because of her emails. Yes. If a man strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him and shoot him. That is the law. If you want to be perfect, go. Sell all the possessions that you have and give the money to a solid mutual fund. By this, they will know that you are my disciples. That you say, Merry Christmas! Christ! Christmas! That's my name in there, and I put it in there because I wanted it in there so we could all celebrate Big Boy Jesus' birthday time! Okay? Okay.
Rabbi, surely you can heal me.
My child, of course I could. But who would pay for it?
What? I don't understand. I don't have any money.
Yes, it is a sad story, but it does not make me responsible. It is super duper easy for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. The richer, the better, really. Maybe get a solid gold house, just to be sure. Love your neighbor as yourself. Unless you are better than your neighbor, then tell them that they're weird and you do not want to bake them a cake. You have heard it said, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say to you, any man who looks upon a woman with lust in his heart should go ahead and do what he's gotta do.
Lord, your followers grow hungry and we have only this fish and bread.
Oh, sweet.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, welcome back. I got this other video here from iHip, and they're talking about Elon Musk and how, you know, MAGA is really kind of getting angry at Musk. I guess it's good that Musk is around to take all this anger, because if he wasn't there, they'd have to get mad at Trump, and I don't think MAGA's ready to do that yet. But if right now Musk is Trump's shield to take all the criticism, once Musk is ever removed, Trump is going to be naked. He ain't going to have anybody else there to put in front of him against the storm of angry MAGA nuts out there. So anyway, let's go to this video here, and we'll come back and talk about that.
Our favorite pastimes is bashing Elon Musk. We grow tired being so petty all the time. So join us for these next 10 to 15 minutes as we watch people within MAGA bash Elon Musk as a therapy session for us all. Seth, play the first clip.
Capitalism and Elon Musk. And by the way, when we cut him off, he went begging the CCP, and that's why they have the joint venture in Shanghai, the Tesla, which is 100% of his value, right? This guy lives on government contracts and taxpayer subsidies, okay? It's all, we're going to get Joe Allen in here for a second to transform it. Elon Musk, once again, brother, I'm smart enough to tell you no to your face, and I'm evil enough to be able to expose you as a running dog for the greatest enemy this nation's ever had. You're a war profiteer. You're sleeping with the enemy, brother, and you've been doing it because you're not an American nationalist. You're not even an American. All you are is a globalist, okay? A globalist. And you will go where anybody writes you a check, and you would take it from Adolf Hitler himself, because you're taking it from people that are as bad as Adolf Hitler. The murderous regime of the Chinese Communist Party, which you praised on their 100th anniversary. Let me bring it.
Yeah, Elon, suck it. Suck it. You're not even an American, you fucking loser corporate welfare queen. I mean, what a takedown. Loved it.
Well, you know what's funny is Steve Bannon is just off his complete rocker, as we all know. He's the worst, but I love it because everything he says is absolutely true. Elon Musk is the biggest parasite in the world. The reason he's the richest man is because he has profited off government subsidies. He's exactly right on that. And I did read this week, and I have to say it brought me a lot of happiness, that Tesla sales in Europe are down 75%. And I think in China, 35%. So I love hearing that.
It's excellent news. We love to hear it. We love to see it. We love it when sociopathic assholes like Steve Bannon have moments, and I mean just little glimpses of clarity. All right, let's play the next clip.
I think until Elon Musk starts letting back on the true anti-CCP people that he keeps blocked off there, myself included, not that I want to go on there. Oh yeah, no. He's owned by the Chinese Communist Party. What are you talking about? Tesla, his only thing of real value is Tesla. He uses it for margin loans. He sells the stock. The Shanghai joint venture is 100% controlled by the CCP. This is why he never goes after the CCP. This is why he always backs off. This is when they had the protest. They had the protest about the lockdowns of COVID. He will not do it. Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He is in bed in a business partner. He's done some good stuff, letting stuff out, with Taibbi and others is fine. But he is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party, and he acts like it.
First of all, look at the all-star lineup.
That's what I was just going to say.
Matt Gaetz, Tim Pool,
right.
Steve Bannon, and I mean, this is dated stuff. And so Elon Musk's situation, both mentally and financially, has only gotten more and more compromised. As we saw during the inauguration, he was tripping his balls off on ketamine in broad daylight right there in the rotunda.
Yeah, this guy who's in charge of all the private data of America, who's making cuts and not giving funds already allocated by Congress, can't even keep his eyes open at the inauguration because he's so fucked up. And that doesn't even talk about his mental capacity. But you know what's interesting is Steve Bannon's going on and on about Elon Musk being lock, stock, and barrel China's, and then flash to Tim Pool, who we know has been being paid by Russia. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we've got Matt Gaetz, who's a serial sex abuser. So it's just like, this is just the bottom of the barrel in terms of people. The only people that are missing that are grosser than them are Elon and Trump.
Well, and that's what MAGA really is it is a political movement for all of the bottom feeders.
Right.
And they're so ambitious with their nefarious, stupid plots. And all of that craziness just gets together and they simplify and dumb down their messaging to the lowest information voter on the planet and scapegoat all sorts of people and feed them this God, guns, America first. And that's all it takes. And there was a brilliance in dumbing it down like that. Mm-hmm. But let's continue on. Let's watch some more MAGA cannibalism.
Freedom of speech. This is about holding truth to power. And this is about being able to speak truth to power and speak truth about unelected billionaires who now want to pretend like they are president. And a lot of people are concerned about this. It's not just Democrats that are concerned about the level of influence that technocratic billionaires are having walking into Mar-a-Lago and trying to have a seat at the table to influence our tech policy after being anti-MAGA and pro-open borders their entire lives.
You know, I think that there's some jealousy. Party of two, your table's now available. Yeah. I think they're a little jealous because the minute Trump was able to get the cool kids and he deems all of these oligarchs and billionaires as the cool kids, he dropped the flea baggers, the MAGA flea baggers, like you wouldn't believe. He dropped them so quickly. And at some point, the cool kids are going to drop Trump, and Trump will go crawling back to the Bannons and the Loomers. Hide and watch. This whole thing is just going to be a duck, duck, goose musical chairs game of stupidity.
Yeah, there's definitely a breakup vibe with that. But I couldn't get over that under Laura Loomer's name, it said investigative journalist.
Okay, play the next clip.
I feel like the MAGA base is being emotionally abused right now. We're being told, hey, hey, go shut the fuck up because you don't have $200 million and you don't have a lot of money. So your voice doesn't matter. So go sit in your corner and you better obey and you better respect the emperor and you better say nice things or else we're going to deboost you for being negative, And it's like, okay, well, are we just now going to be promoting class warfare? I thought that this was a Marxist concept. I thought that this was something that the Democrats and the progressive left were pushing as a way to divide our society. But now a lot of MAGA is starting to realize, hey, a lot of the people that have now been welcomed into the Trump administration, like these technocratic billionaires, are really actively promoting and engaging in class warfare against the MAGA base.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. He used you. He told you what he wanted, and then he got his cool friends. He's so excited. He accidentally posted a DM meant to be sent to Elon Musk. Where are you? Where's your little boy X? Bill Gates is coming to see me at Mar-a-Lago tonight, the center of the universe. Oops, he accidentally posted it on real time and not in the DM because he wanted everybody to know that Bill Gates was coming because he doesn't give a shit about the flea baggers. He was during the January 6th shit show. He was upset by how trashy his supporters looked. He was very upset by that. So the minute he could drop you guys, the white trash segment of MAGA, yes, you're dropped. You're immediately dropped. Exactly right, Laura Loomer.
Yeah, the one good thing about this is Bannon and Loomer, the MAGA base listens to them, and what they're saying is absolutely right. Dump truck, city, see you, kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck. This is where we are. Sorry, the breakup is hard, but it's getting ready to be. They are on the outside looking in now. I bet you, I would put money on the fact that Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, probably can't get into the White House anymore. That's just me.
Of course he cannot get into the White House right now. He lost all of his money. Right. He's a nut. Trump always knew he was a nut, but this shit is delicious. So I want listener and viewer, when you get upset and you see him doing all of his show and tell with his executive orders, just know a storm is brewing in the epicenter of MAGA, and we are here to serve it up. Get your popcorn because this shit is delicious. Next clip.
Go out, by the way, while I'm here and sign up now for Truth Social. It's hot as a pistol, and you see that. I call that one right. Leon, I tell you what, Elon is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me. From a fake account. She says fake. A lot of them. Nah, he's got himself a mess. He said the other day, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be buying it. He's not going to be buying it. Although he might later. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? He's got a pretty rotten contract. I looked at his contract. Not a good contract. But he's not. Sign up for Truth. We love the truth.
You know what just amazes me is his podium says Save America. Right. He's literally demolishing America. He's standing behind the Save America podium, bashing Elon Musk. Then he colludes with Elon Musk. These people have such shifting morals, such shifting convictions, and one could argue no convictions whatsoever. It's just really wild to see how defunct these people are on every single level. Also, it's interesting, since that video clip right there, it looks like Trump has aged dramatically to now.
Yeah, he absolutely has aged. His makeup's worse. Here's the deal. He's mentally unhinged to begin with. Now he's suffering from some some dementia type symptoms. So it's going to go from bad to worse. But I remember, I'm old enough to remember a tweet that Trump sent out basically saying that, this is not word for word, but basically that Elon came crawling to the White House because he needed more subsidies from the government because he was on the government tip. That's basically, if I remember correctly, what it said.
No, that's exactly what it said.
And now Elon is in charge of how government money is spent.
It's totally exactly what happens. And the thing is, Elon Musk, we all have to remember, I always remember this, it kind of sits in the back of my brain. Elon Musk and most of the Silicon Valley were all anti-Trump. And then Musk started talking to Vladimir Putin. And then when Musk kind of broke the barrier and caved to the worst impulses that all human beings do, which is just an acquiesce and a death knell into Trumpism, where you just say, fuck it, I'm going to be a bad person. And then you find company in that miserable decision. It kind of opened the floodgates for other people, other oligarchs to go, well, we're not going to let him reap all these benefits. We're going to budge our way in there as well. And so it's going to be interesting because I think at some point, I predict that there's going to be a Heartbreak Hotel with a lot of these billionaires and MAGA. Trump's going to do some pretty bad shit that is going to be brand damaging for these oligarchs' business. And then they will start to part ways with Trump. Trump will have stage 5 meltdowns, 3 a.m. cap lock tweets. I'll be here for it. I like watching the meltdown. I know that's fucked up, but I do. And we'll report on it. But I predict that there is going to be a huge breakup. This is just not going to end well because none of Trump's relationships do. All right, stick with us for more uplifting news.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of people really pissed off, and that's including MAGA now. Let me read this here from what is this place here? New York Post here. This article here was published yesterday, entitled Teen 17-Year-Old in Critical Condition After Stabbing at Anti-Trump Protest by Nicholas McIntyre. A teenage boy was stabbed and left in critical condition during an anti-Trump protest outside Los Angeles City Hall when multiple fights broke out Friday afternoon. The 17-year-old was among a large group of people in downtown LA protesting against President Trump's immigration and deportation laws. The protest collapsed into chaos and violence just after 1:30 p.m. when the fights broke out, the Los Angeles Police Department said. Police responded to the area of 200 North Spring Street after getting calls for the stabbing. The unidentified teen was in the middle of a large crowd in the park across the street from City Hall with his shirt stripped off and covered with blood. The alleged victim dropped to the ground as several others rendered aid to him. One witness claimed the stabbing was unexpected and the suspect wasn't a protester. Quote, I came to the protest and there was a guy that came up who wasn't even a part of the protest and just shanked a dude, unquote, a protester named Will told the outlet. As the teen was on the ground, protesters continued to wave around multiple non-American flags, including the Mexican and Argentinian flags. And I got some videos here. Paramedics rushed the teen to a local hospital in critical condition, officials said. The accused stabber was described as a, quote, male Hispanic juvenile, unquote. Officials did not announce any arrests or charges in the violent stabbing. The Post has reached out to the LAPD. Before the stabbing, another crowd got into a melee where several protesters exchanged punches in the middle of the street before others broke them apart feet away from City Hall. Several protesters were detained by the police. The violent demonstration marked the sixth day protesters took to the streets around the liberal city to protest Trump's orders to strengthen immigration policy in the country, including high schools that walked out of class to join the rallies, according to the outlet. Police did not reveal if the wounded teen was a student. Officials dispersed the crowd at 1:50 p.m. with streets around the area blocked off for the investigation. Protest organizers told the rally goers to leave and go home so they can regroup and continue the protest on a later day. On Friday, a female activist was arrested in Bakersfield for replacing the American flag with a Mexican flag on a flagpole. Crystal Aguilar, 24, was arrested for the stunt at Hart Park where she threw the American flag into mud. Quote, "You're not going to tell me what to do. This is Mexican land, motherfucker," unquote, Aguilar screamed as 3 park rangers approached her. Footage from the Kern County Sheriff's Office captured. And let's see. Yeah, so there's a lot there, a lot of clips here and a lot of video there in this article here from the New York Post online to see what things that were going on. It got violent, and I mean, I think Los Angeles was the biggest of the rallies and the protests in the country, and I would think possibly because there's a lot of Mexican Americans that live in that area, right? I mean, that stands to reason. It's close to the border, I suppose. But those kind of protests there are going to be violent or get violent. And there's probably elements of MAGA out there inserted into these protests to do just that, to start shit. You never know. I'm not saying that this kid that stabbed the other one is a MAGA nut, but you have to expect it. That's why if you go to these protests and stuff, you should be prepared, in case it's somebody there or a bunch of people there may not be what you think they are. Okay, they're plants. They're there to start shit with the police just to make it look like all the Democrats are being hateful and all that. Okay, you should really know each other if you can. Everyone that's there, they should be vouched for by somebody that says, okay, I know this person, yada yada. We can trust him or her or whatever. But if you see people there and they're strangers, you don't know who they are or something, and they might be acting weird or something, it's best to just kind of marginalize them or not. I don't know. It's up to you how you want to do it. I suppose that it's nothing new. Ever since there's been a protest in this country from way back yonder, there's always been that potential that someone's infiltrating these protests to make them look bad, okay? To start, fights and start people getting stabbed or shot or some damn thing, or just to get the police involved and then turn it into a big goddamn, Kent State thing, where, they have to send in the SWAT team or something, or, to disperse the crowds. Okay, that's how the MAGA people win these arguments about the protesters, by saying, oh, they're unruly Americans. They try to turn it into a big free-for-all. When it was okay for them to go march on the fucking Capitol, okay, had to bring that up. But no, it's bad when Democrats, have this happening in their rallies, but it's okay if Republicans do that. So hypocrisy. It goes hand in hand with politics these days, doesn't it? I think there ought to be a new term. Instead of calling it politics, it should be the blending of the two words, hypocrisy and politics, because it really is a joke in a lot of ways, that we stand behind this with our flags and stuff and say that it's patriotism and shit like that when it's anything but, but yeah, like I said, overall in this whole video here, I'm just trying to show people that your anger and the injustice of what we're seeing, it is reaching people now. I mean, it's getting there. It's starting to wake people up, I think. And the worst that Trump has yet to do to us is only going to, you know, increase the level of how much of this these protests and how much more the Democrats are going to be demanded on to fight against Trump. Okay, so we're not going to see, you know, this kind of thing, you know, leveling out or, you know, kind of calming down. Trump doesn't want calm down. Okay, he doesn't want that. He wants it to keep escalating. Okay, and Musk is the guy to help him do that. And even though MAGA is starting to get sick of seeing Musk and sick of seeing what he's doing, you know, it's not going to stop. Okay, Trump's going to use him to the bitter end, while at the same time, the value of Tesla is continuing to plummet. Okay, you know, Musk might end up losing everything in the end, which wouldn't hurt my feelings any, because, you know, then if he loses his empire in this country for interfering with its politics, that would be poetic justice, I think, because hey, he's not American. He's not an American citizen. He's got no business being this, you know, chummy here with the president and getting involved in how we function here as a government. That's not his fucking, he has no right. Even if he was an American, he still shouldn't be there. He wasn't elected to anything. He's not a politician. He's just some fucking sledgehammer for Trump. That's all he is. You know? And I guess he figures, well, if I'm not an American citizen, I can just flee the country when they decide to come after me, and I can just, you know, avoid their justice system. You know? Maybe that's why Trump picked him, is because he's a foreigner. He's not even American. So if any shit comes down the pike, you know, from the law, you know, Musk can just flee. You know, he'd be a fugitive from our system of government. Plus, he's got the money to continue to protect himself. So, like I said, you know, Trump needs Musk to take the shield, to be the shield to take all the shit that's coming his way now, and he's going to need him more than he thinks, because Trump he's going to use Musk too quick, I think, and it's going to backfire on him. And he ain't going to have anybody except maybe J.D. Vance. But I don't know if Vance would be dumb enough to want to take Musk's place here, because, you know, Vance, as you probably notice, you don't see him. Okay? You don't see Vance. He's been sort of like, you know, you see maybe a picture, you know, of him being somewhere or something like that, but no video, no fucking comment from him at all. He's just, you know, doing whatever he does. You know, people ought to remember that, you know, this was kind of the way Kamala Harris started as vice president under Biden. She was not really seen. But yet, MAGA today wants to blame her for everything, you know, that they didn't like under the Biden administration. I'm saying, you know what? She wasn't the fucking president. She didn't have executive power. She was the vice president, you know? They were using, you know, everything they hated about Biden, they were trying to transfer that onto her like she had all that fucking power. And they're still arguing that way today. So they don't, you know, they don't understand. But here's going on, Vance. It'd be like us Democrats blaming J.D. Vance for all the shit that's going on right now in the country. Well, we know better than that. It ain't him. Okay? You know, if he's involved in anything of this, you don't even know it. It hasn't been reported, and it's probably to a very much smaller and lesser degree than Musk at this point. But, you know, we don't like Vance any more than Trump. But right now, he's not the focal point. Trump is. And he's the guy we're trying to go after here to try to stop or remove from office if he won't stop. Because when you got a majority of the country this upset, you know, with a leader in our government, we ought to have the right to say they can't stay there, you know, because we're not, you know, we don't put kings in power. We have presidents, and presidents can be removed from office, you know, when you have the justice, the law, and everything in place. Okay, when you have good grounds to do such a thing, to prevent a catastrophe in our government, okay, we have the right to bitch about this and demand that the guy step down, resign, or, you know, remove him from office through impeachment process. Okay, that's what we have to do. But I mean, we certainly have a lot right now on our plates to be able to use against him right now. He just keeps giving us more. All right, and believe me, people are keeping a fucking list here, making a list and checking it twice, okay, because they're going to be going after Trump eventually. And Representative Alan Green is just the first voice here to be calling about impeachment here, especially with this ethnic cleansing thing. I mean, that's terrible what Trump's trying to do there with that, okay? And as it was said, you know, it's not right, it's not legal to have these immigrants sent to Gitmo, okay? Because Gitmo is not that kind of place. We put terrorists there. So, you know, basically what we're saying is all these people that we're sending to Gitmo are considered to be terrorists in this country. Even the ones who are not illegal that have been picked up, like you said, there's a veteran who was arrested, and some Puerto Rican people that were taken over there, okay? Like I said, they're not going to be very picky about who they pick up and send over there, because there's this goal, this number of 20 million people that Trump has gotten in his fat head, that we have to have 20 million out of this country. So even if there aren't 20 million illegal immigrants in this country, which many people said there isn't, okay, it's the number ain't nearly as high as that. But if he's got 20 million in mind, he's not going to be satisfied till 20 million have been reached. Okay, that means they're going to round up anybody. That doesn't look right. Okay, and that's how this veteran and some of these other people got sent over there. Got arrested. You know, it's not fair. It's just not fair. I mean, that's doing stuff like that is what creates the anger. That's the reason why we got these big protests around the country. That's the reason why people are getting violent in Los Angeles over this topic, okay? This does not work in MAGA's favor when you do shit like this, like a blunt instrument, okay? Because even MAGA becomes a target. They don't realize that. They might think their papers are in order, but believe me, if they decide your papers aren't in order, whether they are or they're not, you're gone. So if any people in MAGA are Latino, Mexican, or whatever, they ain't white, guess what? Your name's on the fucking chopping block. Be ready for that. Oh, I don't know. It's, you know, this reality that people have to have trouble brought to their doorstep in order to wake up is crazy. You know, that's not the way the humanity survived all these, all this millennia here through life. Is we don't just rush in where angels fear to tread. We try to be careful about that, because, you know, we know there's dangers out there. We're supposed to be smart enough to know when there's trouble, okay? We're supposed to have bullshit filters. We're supposed to be able to recognize danger when it's there. But everybody wants to shove all that aside and just rush in where angels fear to tread, okay? And that's like, no. That's not humanity, okay? That's not what we evolved from, okay? You're actually bringing us back to the days of barbarians and cavemen and shit like that, where we didn't know any better, okay? That's what you're doing. That's not evolution. That's de-evolution, okay? That's being cavalier, arrogant, thinking you know everything, and at the end of the day you find out you were completely and totally and utterly wrong. That's MAGA, okay? And that's what they want the rest of the country to end up being, because it's so much easier to manipulate stupid people and careless people than it is to go after and try to convert the educated. It's just how it is. All right, that's it for today. Hope everybody has a great work week, so please subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for any health-related issues. And be a community, people. Help each other out. Watch each other's back and fronts and every damn thing else, okay? Because trouble's coming. All right? Be aware of that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later today.